Are you a young agent or a new insurance agent looking to grow your book? However, you feel a lack of confidence because you don't have the product knowledge that some of the old heads have. If so, stay tuned. This video is just what you're going to need. What's up, everyone? Thanks for visiting the Max Revenue YouTube channel. This is your host, Micah Salas. Let's get into this, folks. All right, so learning insurance knowledge and policy language can take a lot of years. Let's just be honest, right? You're not going to become an expert in policy language overnight. However, I think a lot of times as a younger or newer producer, we put so much emphasis on this knowledge that you feel a lack of confidence because you don't maybe have it yet. However, we don't have years to validate, right? We got a couple years where we got to make a splash. So we have to be able to do that without being super smart, right? When it comes to product knowledge. Now, I'm not saying we don't spend our time learning product knowledge, policy language, how forms read, etc. We should be doing that as we're developing. However, we can't just take a year or two just to do that, right? We have to be selling at the same time. So you need to be able to instill confidence in your prospects that you're meeting with, that you know what you're talking about. So what's the quickest way to do this is, instead of going out there and talking about coverage, right? We can always talk about resources and services. And a lot of times I find that the problems our prospects are having are more tied to that than actual coverage itself. So what you can bring to these meetings is a knowledge of market knowledge. This is how you separate yourself apart from a lot of other producers, right? There's three different areas where I think we can become experts in. One is just knowing the carriers on the top of your head. Who are the major players for a particular niche in a particular geographic region, right? Second thing is know their idiosyncrasies. So what I mean by that is, hey, this company over here underwrites a little bit different than this company over here. They'll both look at plumbers, but this one hates residential. This one loves it, right? Now, when you know this stuff and you're talking to a prospect, they're gonna just know that you know what you're talking about. And the third thing to know is rates, right? What are general liability rates for a class code? What are auto rates for a city, right? What are property rates? If you can know these things, anyone can learn this stuff, right? This doesn't take years. If you spend a couple weeks absorbing this information, you can set yourself apart in these prospect meetings. So that's what I mean by market knowledge. Now, how do we obtain it, right? That's the question. There's a couple different ways. One, spend time talking with people, right? What do I mean by people? Underwriters, wholesale brokers. These people see a lot more deals than you're ever going to see in a given, in a month. So pick their brain. They see such a high volume of deals that they get a pretty good sense right away for what a good rate is and what a bad rate is. So talk to these people, have conversations, take notes, keep a file, right? Now, the other person to talk to is your marketing team, right? If your agency has their own marketing team that does all your quoting for you and does these relationships, that's great. But you don't want to just lean on your marketing team. I see that happen so much. You want to work with your marketing team and just learn from them, right? Quarterly have meetings. Hey, what's changed in the market? What's going on? What's underwriters' appetites? Who's hot in this SIC code? That's really, really critical that you have these conversations and that you keep notes on it, because that's how you're going to become smarter. The other thing is work on deals, right? So the more opportunities you get to work on, especially when you're newer, you're going to learn a lot quicker. Now, as you're working on deals, this part's really key, especially if you don't have like tons of benchmark data, right? How do you know what a good plumbing rate is, right? What I have found that works really, really well is if you work at an agency that has other clients in a particular SIC code, or you start to review some policies in a niche that you focus on, keep that data, right? Especially those GL rates, the work comp rates, because guess what? Okay, you look at a plumber this month, now next month you see another plumber. Well, now you have two plumbers. 6 months later, you've looked at 4 or 5 plumbers. You have your own little benchmark data pool that you can start to use when you're going back to present to these clients after doing some due diligence. And then right when you see a rate, you're gonna know right off the top of your head, wow, you're at like $10 per thousand. Everyone else I've looked at is like in a $6 to $7 range. Why is that, right? That's going to just set you apart in these meetings so much more that it can really be the difference between getting a broker of record letter and not getting a broker of record letter. So I think if you focus on market knowledge specifically and don't get so weighed down by your lack of policy language knowledge, you'll have confidence and your buyers will have confidence. One last thing I'll mention that can really help with this is if you do niche to certain categories, right? If you just do everything under the moon, it's going to take longer to build up this. So, hey, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you found this tip helpful. If you did, support us here at the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.